My name is Jessica Zeroual. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, and I went to James Madison University. I chose James Madison University because of its academic and athletic scholarship. For my academic program, I studied international relations, and I wanted to play Division I volleyball with the top 10 conferences in the U.S. And the Colonial Athletic Association offered a wide variety of teams ranging from New York down to Georgia. So I thought it was a good level of volleyball and a great level of academia. So the combination of both at James Madison made the decision process very easy for me. I went to school in Ottawa. I went to École Secondaire Publique de la Salle. It's a francophone institution, so I did all my studies up to my post-secondary studies in French. Well, the application program to the U.S. is, I think there's two components to it. The first component is taking your SAT scores. Your SAT test is a standardized test. You can take it up to 3 times. I took it twice. I scored better on the second time. I took that score and put it onto my application. Different universities have different formats. Mine was online. So I filled out the questionnaire, all the necessary information. I put my SAT scores with them, and I submitted it. Now, as a Division I athlete, you have to score a certain amount. And from that moment, when you are qualified, you're able to go through the clearance house, which is another application process. So you're applying as a student to the university and also to the NCAA clearinghouse for your eligibility as a NCAA athlete. Well, there's 2 ways you can apply for a scholarship, whether it be a full scholarship or a half scholarship. The first way is actually submitting a video. So you can get one of your coaches, or you can get your parent, or you can get somebody else to film certain clips of your sport. I know as a volleyball player, I have games as well as practices filmed about my hitting and my blocking and my passing and my serving. We put those images together in one video, and we submitted my portfolio, which explained my volleyball resume or my athletic resume, as well as my grades. And they were able to have that portfolio. I sent those out to a few universities in the States. But there's also another way, is playing tournaments in the U.S. So when you go play tournaments in the U.S., you'll have a bunch of college recruits. You'll see a bunch of coaches. Sometimes they'll approach your coach at the time, your high school coach at the time, or your club coach at the time. Or sometimes you'll just receive a letter in the mail requesting maybe an unofficial visit or an official visit or a telephone call. So you can do both processes. So it's good to be exposed to going to play tournaments in the U.S., but it's also good to do your own proactive video. I think for high school students that are very interested in playing NCAA sports, I think the first thing that you should do is talk about it with your coaches and your parents, and make sure this is a process that you really want to get into. There's a lot of information on the NCAA website, so read up about that, read about recruiting, read about official visits, read about how to create a portfolio in order to really start the application in order to get recruited. I think the best thing for you to do is really see if this is something you want to do, because it's a really big commitment. Not only do you have to perform academically, but you also have to perform athletically. So it's really being able to create yourself a portfolio where you have both in one document. You know, you're showing exactly where you want to go with your major. You don't necessarily need to know what you want to study yet, but if you know exactly kind of where you want to go, and you're able to create yourself a portfolio of the teams you played for, even if you're a basketball athlete, maybe you want to mention that you played volleyball, maybe you want to mention you're a swimmer as well. So it's really creating a portfolio about everything that you've done. But I think it's probably one of the best things a college athlete, a high school athlete can do is seek guidance from your coaches as well as your parents. One of my favorite things about being a student athlete at James Madison University was being the Student Athlete Advisory Committee president. I was able to be the voice of student athletes for the general student athlete population, but also on campus, you know. So I was actively committed to the Student Government Association and creating us a voice in that student population, and working with other organizations and really bridging the gap between student athletes and the regular student body. You know, I thought there was a disconnect when I first got there, but when I left, I felt like there was such an impact on the relationship between student athletes and the regular student body population. So I thought that was pretty neat. That was kind of a rewarding part about being a student athlete.
Right.
Well, for all you student athletes that are seeking an opportunity in playing NCAA, Division I, Division II, or Division III athletics, I think it's the most amazing experience you can have. And it's such an honor to have somebody sponsor you in order to play the sport you love and receive an education at the same time. So seek those opportunities and go through with them.